Thank you for tuning in and or watching. This is the Jake and Josh podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And you're listening to episode 31.
No, wait,
33. I'm dumb.
33?
Yeah.
I was going to say 32.
I was thinking of ones because today's 1-1. We're doing a special New Year's Day episode of the podcast.
It's 32 on 1-1.
It's only 33 on 1-1. It's only special because we forgot the podcast on Wednesday.
In binary, today's date is yes 2017.
CC.
Shit. So we didn't. This episode's coming out a little bit later than normal, so we do apologize, but it happens.
Unfortunately, we don't get to podcast full time. We also have to work jobs. So we had some shit come up that we couldn't get in on Wednesday.
Do you think, because I flirted with the idea of starting a GoFundMe for the podcast, not that we need anything else now, but like, we're not big enough to get sponsors.
You're not big enough.
But I don't want to do a GoFundMe because they get such a large cut of the money. What if we just ask people for money?
Like put a donation thing up on the website?
Yeah, we'll keep doing podcasts for food money.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah, we could try it.
I'm on board with whatever.
So we are now over 6,600 followers on Twitter. I think we're closing in on like 1,500 on Instagram. We have 1,100 on SoundCloud.
You just saw me burp in my throat.
Did it come out, or was it one of those N-word burps?
I burped in my mouth.
I'm glad you didn't burp in your butt. Because that's a fart.
I farted with my mouth.
Nice. And Jake?
Yes.
One thing that I'm realizing about the world of podcasting
is that there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, there's way more, at least like 1,500.
There's an infinite number of podcasts.
I think that's one of the inherent problems of podcasts is anyone can start a podcast.
It's kind of like the problem with a blog. Anyone can have a blog.
Yeah. I don't know, it's tough. I just feel like because I'm in the medium now of podcasting, I get frustrated. Like, I'm a member of this Facebook podcasters group, and this one lady posted the other night that she's been podcasting for 6 years. And she wants to know how to grow her audience because she's not hitting double-digit listens or downloads per episode yet. I'm like, for 6 years you've been doing it? Like, essentially you've been talking to yourself for 6 years.
If we wouldn't have cracked double-digit listens after like the first 3 episodes, I probably would have killed myself. And you.
I was going to offer to clean up the mess, asshole.
I just need you to delete my browser history.
Dude, seriously. There should be like, I need a life alert necklace and a separate necklace that just you push the button and it clears your Google browser history.
I don't need a life alert necklace to help me if I'm falling and if I've fallen and I'm about to die. I need a life alert to clear my browser history. Like, yeah. I need a life alert that's going to blow up my computer at home and delete my Google account.
God, you need a self-destruct switch.
That's what I need. I need to stop moving so much because I'm readjusting the focus on the camera.
I do need a life alert necklace, though.
For what?
I don't know. One time I almost slipped in the shower, and I'm like, whoa, it's that easy. Like, I was home alone. My wife wasn't coming back for hours.
This must be what it feels like to be 70.
I'm like, my dogs know that if I'm dead in the shower, I don't have food, so they wouldn't be by me. They'll wait a couple days for when I am food. That's gross.
They wouldn't need to wait for you to be food. If you're dead, you are food.
I think dogs like rotted meat. I don't know why I've always had that. No.
I think they just like meat.
Well, my dogs I don't feed my dogs human food, so they've only ever eaten out of the trash anyway. So they probably do wait for it to rot.
You don't feed them human food. You feed them humans as food.
Whoa.
Boom.
That's interesting. Speaking of which, one random point about dog food. Do you ever wonder
what dog food tastes like?
No.
It tastes just like it smells. Delicious.
No, they'll say like, this tastes just like chicken. And I'm like, who tried it?
The dog.
But that's my thing. I mean, they could say it tastes like chicken and it tastes like lamb or something. We don't know.
Well, lamb tastes just like chicken, so calm the fuck down. Actually, it tastes more like beef. But I imagine, like, this is what I think happens, and they probably just have a man who tastes the dog food. I say man. It could be a woman, but a woman's not going to eat dog food willingly.
If it goes according to social structure properly, the woman cooks the dog food, and then the man tries it.
Only if it's Blue Buffalo, because they use the freshest ingredients.
Yeah, that's why I charge $50 a bag
for a 2-pound bag.
Yeah,
My dog poops 2 pounds. But what I like
You don't have a dog.
They don't know
lie.
that. They don't know that. They're on camera, but they're not. The camera's not at my house.
Touche.
I can say whatever the fuck I want.
And they don't know.
And they don't know. They don't know. Sorry.
I had Taco Bell earlier.
And you have
And I'm still having it.
I used to have Taco Bell. I still do, but I used to too.
Dude, we do that Mitch joke
I
probably
fucking
every
love
episode.
it. Yeah, I love it. It's the same thing with the will have had.
Will have had.
Yeah, we will have had made that joke in every episode. There we go. Boom. But the what I'd like to imagine happens for the dog food is that they let dogs eat chicken, and then they measure the brainwaves while they're eating the chicken, and then they put the brainwave they measure the brainwaves while they're eating the food that's supposed to taste like chicken.
I'm pretty sure this is how Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind works. Have you ever seen that movie?
We're not erasing people's memories.
Yeah, but they still go off of what lights up in your brain during each thing.
Yeah, maybe dogs' brains have a chicken sensor, kind of like instead of having a cerebral cortex.
That'd be cool. So we're about the 6-minute mark. Do you want to go ahead? We'll pause.
For
it's going to be a commercial break.
Yeah, it's going to be a commercial break and
followed
music.
immediately by our intro music.
Yeah, if you're listening on undiscoveredrockradio.com. I still don't get the name right.
Yeah.
Undiscoveredrockradio.com.
I'm sure there's an undergroundrockradio.com and it's like way cooler.
It's just a cave.
It's like Batman jamming out to Megadeth.
It's just it's a live stream of Bruce Wayne listening to Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden for 6 hours. But if you're listening...
Hold on, time out. What if Batman instead was a black man with like 31 siblings and he was Bruce Wayne?
Boo.
All right. Wait, I'll soundboard
Bruce
myself.
Wayans.
Is it? Wait, is their last name Wayans?
It's Wayans. Wayyans.
Oh, I always thought that was just like the plural
their
of
name
them.
right.
All right, hold on. Here we go.
No, the plural is the Wayanses. Wayanses.
Whoa, my
wrong soundboard died.
Doesn't work.
All right, so rest in peace soundboard.
Yeah.
2
episodes, no soundboard. We gotta figure that shit out.
It's because we got the new fucking thing. We got to figure out what happened with the...
Yeah, this new soundboard, it's great because eventually... Great. Oh, here's a teaser. So eventually we're going to have guests on the show.
Eventually. Not like when we interviewed that author.
Jack July.
We'll actually have them in studio with us.
Yes. Okay, so now we're at 7:43. Let's go ahead and intro. And it's tough for us to intro the break because we have to intro it and then just keep going right away.
Yeah. So,
Jake, do it.
So if you're listening on Undiscovered Rock Radio... please listen to the following advertisements for your local products.
Coming at you live from Building 7 in New York, it's the only show that always has its dick out for Harambe, making America okay again. It's the Jake and Josh Podcast.
And we're back.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. I hope whatever products they were selling in those advertisements are actually useful products and not like, the shake weight.
Dude, the shake weight was good, I thought.
The South Park version of the shake weight was great. But,
speaking of South Park.
But back to the shrine of Randy Marsh. We need to just wallpaper just the many faces of Randy.
No, you know what I realized though? Dude, I was thinking about that earlier, but I don't think we have an episode on video of me with the Randy Marsh shirt because that was the first time when we did the video and fucked up. So this is my first time wearing a Randy Marsh shirt with the Randy Marsh. I struggle with this part painting back there.
I struggle because we're reversed. I'm sitting on the right hand side.
Yeah.
But looking at the video, I'm on the left-hand side, so I'm going to pass the duchy to myself.
Jesus freaking Christ.
That was a good one.
All right, so for today's episode, can I start with an anecdote, and then it'll become like a personal opinion of mine?
What is the antidote for?
Good one. So the other night I'm driving, and I just said night, so infer that it's dark. But this guy
after 6 p.m.
Yeah, sunset's early as shit here. So this guy's driving or riding. Do you drive a motorcycle or ride one?
Yes.
Okay, so he's doing that. He's on a motorcycle, and he's wearing all black clothing, and he doesn't have a helmet.
So he has a death wish.
Yeah. Or he has a ringworm that has just been long enough. I always think about it. Anytime someone does something that could kill them, I always... and here's the reason. Okay, an anecdote, and then I'll get to my anecdote.
An anecdote tangentially related to the anecdote.
So Jake and I used to work at a Darby's restaurant, and or likeness thereof. And there was this one regular customer, and he always got, during fish season, he would get a fish sandwich, a side salad, and a fish. What'd I say? French?
Fish.
Oh, because we say fish 4 times.
Fish.
Whenever we do our audio check before each episode, it involves saying the word fish.
Implying that we do a check.
I mean, since we've been on video, we're doing checks regularly.
Yeah, because we fucked up once.
And it was like an hour fuck. Anyways, so this guy gets a fish sandwich, side salad,
fries,
and a black coffee. And I'll never forget my boss one time. He was like, "It's like he has a ringworm and he's trying to kill it." And so now, anytime someone is doing something crazy, my first attribution of the reason for that crazy act is a ringworm.
There's a parasite that lives that cats can get, and it only can reproduce in the belly of a cat. Like it can only, I'm trying to think, it can only give birth inside of a rat, I think. And
Wait, it gives birth in a rat.
So this is how it goes. So the parasite has to infect a rat, and then the rat gets eaten by a cat, and then the cat, when it poops, the parasite gets in the poop and reproduces.
Whoa.
So the parasite...
And then a rat eats the poop, and it's the circle of life.
Yeah, the circle. But the parasite takes over...
Yeah, you're going to have to do it since we don't have a soundboard.
The parasite takes over the rat's brain and puts it in situations where it can get eaten by a cat. And then the rat gets eaten by the cat, and the cat puts on the hat.
And the cat jumps over the spoon.
And
my first question is, how do you know, even if you're like 40% accurate on this, how do you know any of it?
Because Wikipedia. Actually, so it's one of the, because I have a pregnant lady at home with
cat?
my second child. We do have a cat. One of the concerns with pregnant women is the actual, that's the parasite is called Toxoplasmosa gondii, and it's called toxoplasmosis when a human gets it. But the parasite...
real quick, my favorite thing is that the third name is Gandhi.
It's 2 names. It's Toxoplasmosa and then Gandhi, Gondii.
I thought it was Gandhi.
But if you're pregnant, they tell you not to change a cat's litter box because the parasite can get into women are more susceptible.
Whoa,
It can affect the fetus if it gets in. It doesn't do much to a human, but it can damage a fetus, if the woman's still pregnant. So they tell you not to change the litter box if you're pregnant. Well, that's the same parasite that infects the rats and makes them get eaten by the cats, and the cats put on the hats.
I thought you were going to say, because when the Wikipedia app first came out on smartphones, and this is going as far back as the G1, if you remember that.
The HTC G1.
Was it an HTC?
It was.
Damn. But there was a feature where you could just read one random article a day, and I did
They still have that feature. It's called random.
Oh, wow. Well, this is why I know so little about it. I only did it for one day. And the article I read, I'll never forget, was about helicopter evacuations via that rope.
And then that led to you looking up helicopter dick.
No, it led to me looking up goldfish pooping. Because a goldfish pooping looks just like a helicopter with the rope out. It's boggled my mind for many, many years.
The water I just took a drink from has been here since we started the podcast.
Yeah. Ugh.
Still better than Flint.
Probably. I think dying of thirst is better than Flint.
I think dying is better than living in Flint.
So this guy on the motorcycle. So someone, again, he's dressed.
What kind of motorcycle was it?
I honestly don't know any type of motorcycle. And that's why, so I'm telling this story, and then I'm going to tell my opinion, but I want it to be known, my opinion Doesn't have to do with the fact that I don't know anything about motorcycles and am not interested in it. But
you hate them because you don't care about them.
I mean, okay, so anyways, so guys, it's night, he's wearing all dark, no helmet, and a car kind of cuts him off, and he has to, like, stop really quick. And I see him, in my own headlight, shake his fist at them. And I thought...
Why I oughta?
Yeah.
I should have done that with the other hand. Why I oughta?
He's a 75-year-old why I oughta guy.
He's Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
I've never seen Gran Torino.
Just picture Clint Eastwood doing exactly what we did for 2 hours.
I quit watching Clint Eastwood movies after Deliverance.
Clint Eastwood wasn't in Deliverance.
Then I've never seen a Clint Eastwood film. Oh, that was Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
God dang it. Okay, yeah, I've probably never seen a Clint Eastwood movie.
But you have seen Burt Reynolds movies.
Not since Deliverance.
You didn't watch Gator?
God, no. You know more movies than me, and I'm very impressed by that. But anyways,
Because I read Wikipedia.
so this guy, why I oughta, but my thought was, and in this situation, it's obvious. He's wearing dark clothing. He doesn't have a helmet on. Like, he's literally begging for it.
But
not in the good way.
like a woman on the street.
But
JK.
even if it was daylight, and even if he had gaily colored clothing on and a helmet, and he still got cut off, I still feel like...
That I hope he died?
I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but...
I hope he died.
You go from a car, which has 4 wheels, and thus is much better balanced, has a metal exoskeleton, and you go down to 2 wheels and your own endoskeleton, and you're upset that people make it more risky for you sometimes.
Well, so the problem is, like, a lot of motorcyclists think that people should be extra careful for motorcyclists, but you made that decision. Like, we're all in 4-wheeled vehicles that are much safer and offer full 360-degree protection. Like, no one should have to be extra responsible, like, extra careful for your decision. Because if you're driving a vehicle that I can't see because you just want to feel the thrill.
Seriously, it's tough at night to see, like, a motorcycle in your rearview mirror. I always think it's like a car with one headlight out.
That's every single time. I'm like,
I'm
is
like,
that is that a motorcycle behind me, or is that cop's light out?
Or is that cop just happy to see me?
Is that your baton, or you just happy to see me?
But yeah, and I think it's weird. It's kind of, and then have you ever seen, like, a motorcycle on the road that's just driving like an idiot and, like, swerving in and out of traffic?
All of them. Yeah, the part that kills me is when they drive side by side in one lane. Like,
yeah, that.
Or when they ride the middle to, like, cut through traffic. Like, how fucking dumb.
And this kind of hits on the topic we may talk about at a later point in the episode, but it's almost like with racism, like, some people just don't like black people, and it's like, and because they think they're all thugs, and some aren't. Some are upstanding human beings. They wear plaid shirts.
Some
and glasses.
of them are our current president
for a couple more weeks. But
thanks, Obama.
But then when you see one with, like, sagging pants and the teardrop tattoo, and that's kind of like the equivalent of a motorcyclist who follows the rules and wears the proper safety gear, seeing another motorcyclist swerving in and out. That's the black person dressed nice, doing good work in the community and for his family or whatever.
It was a weird metaphor, and I didn't think you were gonna get there, but you got there, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, and with white people, it's the same thing. I'm, like, lower middle class, and I take pride in that, and I work at it.
I'm proud of being white trash.
No, but then I see white trash. I'm like
real white trash.
Man, there's, like, this pregnant lady. I always see her at Walmart, and so I quit going to Walmart.
Just habitually pregnant, just always pregnant.
Or she's just gonna birth a 30-year-old one day. I'm not. We don't know.
Woman gives birth to 250-pound baby.
Every time I see her, she's pregnant. The more impressive thing is 3 out of all the times I've seen her, she's been yelling at her husband that they don't need no more Tang. And I'm like, he's always trying to get Tang.
And that's how they ended up in this situation. He wanted the Tang.
God damn. Soundboard goes,
oh!
You did it more like we're at, like, a Sheryl Crow concert, not like the black people that was actually recorded from. There you go. That's better.
I put my hand over my mouth.
And you're doing a better job of exploring the space.
Yeah. Well, I lean in and lean out. Hands up and hands down. Back up, back up. Tell me what you want to do now.
For a moment, I thought you were doing a Grand Theft Auto cheat code from PlayStation 2.
No, that'd be up, down, left, left bumper, right bumper, left bumper, right
God
bumper.
Damn, you know them.
That's even better because I haven't played on PlayStation in forever.
This might be a really short episode because I'm already on note 2 of 3. But is it? I mean, I don't take notes, but I have notes.
I relax and take notes.
The only reason I ever remember, the only world leader I remember is Benjamin Netanyahu, and I don't know what country he's from, but I remember his name.
He's a prime minister of Israel, or president of Israel.
Israel, yeah.
It's weird. Like, I don't know what like some countries have prime ministers, some countries have presidents, some countries have presidents and prime ministers,
and some have celebrities,
like us, and some people have dictatorships, which are the one true democracy.
Speaking of prime ministers, the prime minister of Thailand is a female, and she's been in position for 5 years now, and I'm amazed she hasn't changed the capital to Bangkok. That was stupid.
Bangklet.
Actually, I was like, man, that kind of sounds like a restaurant, but then I think it's because it sounds like banquet.
Yeah. Banquet hall.
Banquet. Pancakes brought to you by Banquet. But the only reason I ever remember Benjamin Netanyahu is because of 1990s ISP. I almost said ISP providers, but just ISPs. Benjamin Net 10 Yahoo. I'll never forget it. And you probably remember like half of the world leaders.
I remember half of them, like Muammar Angel Fire
from Motley Crue.
No, Muammar Gaddafi.
Wait, does Gaddafi mean Angel Fire?
No, it was just a terrible joke about Angel Fire websites.
God, wait, what's an Angel Fire website?
It was internet, like it was like you made web page hosted through Angel Fire. That was we used Libsyn for our website. Angel Fire was like the website. Like you could make a free website with Angel Fire.
Dude, I feel like if we were in a movie and the movie was This Is the End, you're Jay and I'm Jonah Hill. Like you have the craziest references, and I'm always like sick references, bro. Because sometimes you post you do double references a lot more than I think you realize, and I don't get it.
Do you have an example of my double reference?
No, I'll scroll through your Facebook. We'll talk about it on the next episode. But man, but I have an example that I'll never forget of a double reference.
Okay.
Someone made a joke about when LeBron James finally won a championship, and it was like, now LeBron James has a ring and Jennifer Aniston doesn't, or something like that. But it was just crossing the worlds, because it was right after she got divorced from Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that's not even a good reference.
That's a bad example.
I'm trying to think of one. The only thing I can think of recently that I either did or said, because I usually share funny interactions I have with other people with you. If I interact with them via text, I usually screenshot it if I think of it was something particularly clever. I was having
which is the equivalent of looking at yourself in the mirror to see your sense of humor.
So I was having a conversation with someone who, they said that they had met Chrissy Mack, the adult film star, and
she's seriously my top 10 favorite.
Yeah, and I didn't believe her. So
is she the one that got her ass kicked by that Carolina Panther?
No, she's the one who got her ass kicked by the MMA fighter.
Oh my god. See, that's another reference. More people know him as...
His name's War Machine.
Wait, Charles Johnson?
No,
who did Charles Johnson beat up? I felt like that was a porn star.
Just some hoe.
Wow. Okay, never mind. She got beat up by an MMA fighter.
Yeah. And so I was asking how Christy Mack was as a person. I was like, is she pretty cool? I feel like in that line of work you have to be pretty laid back.
I'm not going to do it.
Anyway, so the conversation kind of shifted to a little bit of the conversation shifted to the domestic violence thing, and I was like, well, it's cool that she's a cool person. I'm always nervous to go up to celebrities because it's kind of a weird situation when you run into them because you don't know how they're going to handle the situation. Like if they're what kind of mood they're in.
You don't want to piss them off by saying I like the thing you do.
Yeah, I was at the airport and I ran into Chris Brown, and you know how they always say, don't meet your heroes?
That was decent. Do you ever listen to the podcast Kill Tony?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
So I've come to realize I think I identified the most. Good one. I think I identified the most with Brian Redband, and like my mind always jumps to the dirtiest thing now. Like when you said you asked her about meeting Chrissy Mack, my first question would have been, how elastic is her anus?
I feel like if we're drawing comparisons to Kill Tony, you're more like Tony because of your
my voice.
No, because of your exasperation with my my attempts. Every time, just Red Band's working the soundboard,
yeah.
and just Tony gets just increasingly just fed
or
up.
Or if the band comes in with a bad entrance, he hates it.
Yeah. Like, he yells at Red Band for too many SpongeBob references, clips in the
And actually,
show.
Okay, your comparison, I'll take it one level deeper. I do like it. So Tony Hinchcliffe hates when he's not in on the reference.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
I can feel that.
Yeah.
I'm more like Brody Stevens.
You got it. I love him. I only see dark colors. He's not even like a regular host on the podcast, but some of my favorite episodes of that podcast are when Brody Stevens is on there. Yeah, Stephen Brody Stevens.
I love calling him Stephen Brody Stevens.
SBS.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that an ISP?
I don't know.
No, SBC. Shit.
Now a subsidiary of AT&T.
Wah, 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 wah. Wow.
We need to tag. We'll have to tag Tony in the podcast. Maybe he'll let us. Maybe we could.
No.
You don't want to tag him?
Nope.
Say, hey, we talked about.
I'm not going to tag the roast master and.
No. We're not tagging Jeff Ross.
Okay, Jeff Ross. That's an outdated title.
No. I've listened to the roast battle part of of the Death Squad podcasts, and so far the master is fucking Dan Nolan.
Dan Nolan's. He's the guy whose laugh you don't like. The one's like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the former heroin addict.
Yeah.
I hate his laugh. But
Saturdays are his cheat days. That's a good one.
Yeah, he's a fucking funny guy.
I think, and we talked about this before the show, but I think at some point we're going to do maybe like a 2-part episode where we break down like maybe 10 to 20 of our favorite comedians.
A piece.
No, I think one time we were going to do that with the racial slurs that we were going over.
We did do that.
No, I don't
Twice.
know. I don't know if you remember, but there were still like 15 or 20 of them we just didn't do. We had so many.
Out of respect. We saved those for bonus.
They were all against white people.
I think we've had it hard enough. But I think it'd be fun. Just talk about, as non-comedians, talk about other comedians and how impactful they've been to our lives.
And hopefully at least get people to check some out. Like, I mean, we'll obviously do some big ones like Louis C.K., Anthony Jeselnik, Mitch Hedberg.
Maybe some more, like, not as well-known comedians.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, I feel like with stand-up comedy, it's becoming kind of like podcasts. Like, everyone's fucking doing it now.
Well, I think it's
watering down the talent pool.
Well, I think there's a lot of funny people, and I think with the advent of anybody being able to do podcasts, and there's so many places where you can do like open mic nights and stuff. It's such a receptive audience for comedy right now. It's almost like there was a comedy boom in the 80s, and I think we're kind of going through another one of those booms because it's a big deal. It's so easily consumable.
Do you know if Lenny Bruce was in the 80s?
I think so. He's like in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay, so here's one thing we can talk about that I was thinking about this week that I did not take a note of.
Oh shit.
It becomes increasingly tough to push the envelope as time goes on because the envelope has already been pushed so far.
You can only push the envelope so far before it falls off the table.
I mean, in theory, maybe some people fall off the table, and that's a good thing for art and creativity and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, as an example, and not with comedy, but, when the Brady Bunch was on TV, it was sacrilege at the time to have a married couple sleeping in the same bed on television.
Yeah.
And then you think about in 30 or 40 years where we've come with shows like The Walking Dead or...
Still no tits.
Yeah. But, like, Suck My Balls being Abraham's last words before his brain was bashed in with the barbed wire.
That was the greatest last words.
Stop.
So, So
We've already talked about how I feel about that line.
Okay, so top 3 all-time favorite like last words of somebody who died in a show. Him, because it was such.
I'm not going to know 2 of these references.
You're not, because one of them's a Breaking Bad reference. So Abraham telling Negan to suck his balls after getting that was an Abraham, like it couldn't have not been more Abraham for him to say suck my balls while getting his head smashed in. The other one, and this is number 1 for me, is when Hank is about to die in Breaking Bad, and the dude is about to kill him after his name. He says, "My name's ASAC Hank Schrader, and you can go fuck yourself."
He dropped an F-bomb on TV, though?
Yes.
Not bad?
Yeah. On AMC.
What was the other one?
Breaking Bad's viewership wasn't like it was always like it was great for like the last 2 seasons, but it was never on the level that Walking Dead's is. So they could get away with more F-bombs because they didn't have the advertisers to worry about as much.
One thing that's kind of revolutionizing it a little bit, though, is these Netflix originals.
Yeah.
I told you to last week, but have you watched any of the OA?
No, but I did finish watching Stranger Things.
Did you like it?
Yeah, loved it.
Did it
Can't wait for season 2.
Did it make you feel like you were upside down?
No.
Okay, so
I did hang up a bunch of lights in my house though.
I'm intrigued to see, because in the OA, like in episode 1, there's like a nude sex scene, and it's like
So I know what I'm going to do when I go home.
I mean, it's like a good one. Like, he hits it from behind, and then I think he finishes, and then she goes down on him anyway. And I'm like, good girl. Good girl. But, like, how do they do with, like, children control? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you can set up, so you can set up different profiles on Netflix. So you obviously, you set up one for your kids to watch.
But how do you know ahead of time it's going to have nudity and sex? It doesn't say it.
Well, it's rated. All the Netflix shows are rated, just like on TV.
I need to learn TV ratings then, because you can't have nudity on TV. So obviously you couldn't, there wouldn't be a TV rating, I wouldn't think, for nudity and sex.
But the rating still exists though. Just because you're not hindered by sponsorship, just because you're not subject to ratings classifications, you still rate it so people know what to let their kids to watch, what stuff they want to watch. Some people are prudes and they don't want to watch stuff that's rated TVMA, so they stick to stuff that's rated
I know,
PG.
but it just boggles my brain that they would.
But that's the other thing too. I don't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
But but on cable, so network shows are the only ones that are subject to FCC regulation. So they have to have the ratings listed for the show.
So you could have nudity on cable, is what you're saying?
Not on network TV, but on cable you can. It's completely up to the sponsor.
Have any shows done it?
I think Breaking Bad did it in its first or second season.
With nipple.
Yes, with nipple. They were in a strip club, and you could actually see nipple in the show.
Whoa!
I don't remember if it aired that way. I don't know if it got blurred because I watched it on Netflix. But you can show nudity. It's just whatever. It's up to the discretion of the producers of the show. But the big fear of why people don't show nudity is advertisers backlash. So there's AMC, they can we've talked about in the past how they've censored some of the lines that some of the characters are,
including that Abe line.
Yeah.
But hold on, so there's a dot I'm not connecting here. Okay. So cable channels don't show nudity because they're afraid of advertisers.
They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose ad revenue.
But what in the history of mankind has ever made one believe that selling sex, or no, that sex doesn't sell?
That's not the thing. That's not the thing. The advertisers are worried about those parents who think that sex is worse. I mean, it's a violence thing too, because you can have a super violent show and have it rated MA and not feature any sexualized shit at all.
Right.
But
I get violence being.
But that's the thing. We have this thing where sex is worse than violence on shows and movies, and that's the thing that people are worried about. The advertisers and themselves don't care, but they don't want to get these calls to action by these moms on Facebook because they showed tits on a show that's on at 11:30 p.m. for a show that's targeted at adults, because the parents are mad that their kids saw that, even though it's not a show that's meant for kids. Like, that's what they're worried about. That's the thing.
I just think viewership would be like through the roof, and people could just program on their TV. But you need a passcode to go to that channel.
But that's why TV content is getting progressively more edgy. That's why, like, HBO and Netflix are driving the producers of these shows and these television networks to allow, a little more risque stuff on their networks. I don't know if you've seen the last couple of seasons of American Horror Story, but they've shown some pretty, like, explicit stuff that really kind of pushes that line of, maybe this show needs to be moved to HBO.
Yeah.
But, and like The Walking Dead, there was so much backlash from the scene where they bashed in, Glenn's head, and like, that baffles me. Like, it's a show about killing zombies and fucking killing people. Like,
yeah, when they had the putrescent zombies in, like, the basement of that building, I thought that was the grossest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, like,
okay,
I just like, it's crazy that we have such a there's just a negativity towards sex and, like, nudity on shows, but not against violence.
Given that, well, okay, to make that separation, you don't want your kids seeing violence or sex, but you as an adult male want to watch sex.
Yes.
Okay, that's the
and
separation.
Violence.
So.
But yeah, and that's why the ratings exist.
Yeah, there's not, like,
so people know what to let their kids watch.
There's not violencetube.com and uviolence.com.
There probably is.
Yeah, I mean, Rule 33.
4.
34 is the porn version. 33 is the violent version.
If it exists, it's a website of it.
Yeah. Shit. But, okay, so given the fact that we started with the Brady Bunch, and they couldn't sleep in the same bed, and I think the Brady Bunch was the 80s.
Yeah.
And now 30 years later, we can have
Adam Levine.
He had a sex scene. Yeah, episode 1 of season 3 of American Horror Story, and I did see that. But so, do you think in 30 more years we're gonna have just porn channels?
We do. It's called HBO.
No, regular cable.
I don't think it's gonna be porn channels. I just think we're gonna get to a point here in the next 5 to 10 years where your cable and, like, HBO are going to be really similar in the kind of content that they'll show, and I don't think the networks. I think it'll take longer for them to fall in line because they have the FCC that dictates what they're allowed to show. I think
won't let them be.
But yeah, the FCC won't let them be. With those super relevant Eminem references. But I think the cable networks, I think, are going to be a lot more closer to what Netflix and HBO and, like, Cinemax and all that shit are showing on their networks. Not straight up porn, but there's going to be, a heavy, like, it's been proven with how popular, like, Game of Thrones is. Like, sex and violence in a TV show, like, fucking kills it. And that's, like...
What season is Game of Thrones on?
They're about to be on season 7. And they only have there's only 13 episodes left of the show. And so they're going to have shorter seasons. That's another thing I think is going to happen soon with network TV. I think they're going to keep the same model. But cable networks, I think, are going to go to, like, 10, 13 episode seasons at the most.
Just so they can put out more seasons.
Not even that, but I think the quality of the content is going to go up. Like, Game of Thrones, it's been 10...
Game of Thrones is not going to end.
It is going to end.
It's not going to.
They've announced, like, they're only filming 2 more seasons.
They're going to spin it off. There's going to be a different show called Fantastic Tits and Where to Find Them. That's
a completely different thing, though. Like, the show Game of Thrones will be over in 13 episodes.
Okay, but if it's the same concept, same writers,
but like, so The Walking Dead got a spinoff. Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead is not.
It is the same show.
It's not the same show. It's way worse.
It's the same show.
They did a spinoff of Breaking Bad called Better Call Saul, focused on the lawyer.
Same thing.
It's not the same show. Completely different show. Completely different.
No, that
tone.
one is different.
It's it's a completely different tone of show too. But that's the kind of shit that sells now. Like, quality of content, like, good shows are the big thing now. Like, people now, like, they don't go to movies. Like, you don't go to the movies to watch a good movie. You go to the movie theater to see a fucking blockbuster that's gonna, blow you away for an hour and a half, and then, or 2 hours, and then you're gonna go home and watch you're gonna go home and watch Stranger Things or the OA or, one of the or like Game of Thrones, like the good quality television that comes on, and that's going to be how you get your quality time in.
I know, but I think the goal has always been quality television. The Brady Bunch was quality television at the time.
It was, but that was back when they weren't. That was back when there were only like fucking 4 cable channels. Like there were 4 channels of TV.
I know, but you're saying. I feel like you're saying the goal is quality television and quality movies, but that's always been the goal.
That's not. I mean, that's not the goal though. Like the fucking Big Bang Theory. Like I like that show, but it's not a quality television show.
Thank you for finally acknowledging that.
I've always acknowledged it. That doesn't mean I don't like it.
Now
I like watching wrestling. That doesn't mean it's quality programming. It's entertaining to me.
Dude, I don't think. I mean, especially in movies nowadays, I don't find much quality in the way of movies.
That's what I'm saying though. Like now, like movies are where you go to get your your entertainment, but you watch TV to take in a quality story.
But you think Stranger Things is a quality story?
I thought it was a compelling story. It was original.
I know it was just like the movie Super 8, and I'm saying this, and I
haven't watched Super 8.
Oh, I love Stranger Things, but and it's interesting now, and I was thinking about this the other day too. There's so many Netflix originals, and for the most part, they're all in season 1 or 2. Yeah. So it's saying what actually has longevity to it. Like Fuller House just got re-upped, and that pisses me off because it's just there for nostalgia. I'm trying to think. Orange is the New Black has made it a while. Is House of Cards Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely made it a while.
Yeah, they're on like season 4 or 5 now.
But right now, I mean, Making a Murder, they're doing John.
But it's because Netflix.
Girl's name?
John Benet Ramsey.
John Benet Ramsey.
But Netflix has only been doing like original programming for the last like 3 or 4 years.
I agree, but that's why what I'm saying is we'll have to see how it plays out. If 5 years from now we're sitting down and we're talking about season 8 of Stranger Things and season 7 of the OA, and I'm like, it's legit.
Well, I think they're already taking into account what isn't working for them. Like, they already canceled that Marco Polo show. They did 2 seasons of Marco Polo. Like, oh, well, it's not working, so we're not going to produce any more of it. But as soon as, the Marvel shows have been super successful. Pretty much, except for Marco Polo, all of their original shows have been super successful. Even the fucking shitty Adam Sandler movies have been successful for Netflix.
Adam Sandler's different because now they're finally having, dicks and boobs and stuff in them.
But... yeah.
But again, every show is super successful in the beginning. Do you remember the show God, I'm going to draw...
It's not, though. Breaking Bad was not super successful in its first... It didn't get successful until, season 4.
Okay.
And then, that's when it blew up.
But most of the shows that we can point to on Netflix are in seasons 1 or 2, and we're saying they're super successful. But to me, especially with TV shows, and I'm going to acknowledge one thing real quick. I love Netflix... because they have to take a leap of faith on this stuff.
They do.
You have to record the whole season.
Well,
versus some stuff gets cut
Well, so with most shows, they record part of the season. They record the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And then while the first half of the season is airing, they record the second half of the season. Or maybe I'm dumb and don't know what I'm talking about, and they record the whole season at once.
No, I think they do split recording.
I do think they split it up in parts, though.
Yeah. And it's especially because a lot of TV shows that get big, the actors then get movie spots
and they have to take they get more breaks, they demand more time off from filming and all that shit.
Rick has to grow his beard back out.
Yeah. But I think what happened is HBO has long been regarded as putting out quality programming because they've been doing the original programming thing for a while as far as television shows go. A lot of people would say that The Sopranos was the first thing that they did that was super successful. Even though I don't like it, Sex and the City was super successful for them. The Wire, Band of Brothers, shit like that. Oz, that really started the trend for quality television. But before, you could only get that kind of quality programming by paying for HBO on your cable package
or by going to see a movie.
Yeah. But now, so Netflix kind of took that approach that HBO does. Hey, we're going to do whatever we want for the show. Let's just make the show we want to make. We don't have to worry about advertisers. We don't have to, because people pay extra to see our shit. So we can put whatever we want in these shows. We can make a show about whatever we want.
Well, they don't produce all their own stuff now.
Netflix doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's,
I didn't know that.
But that was the concept. They put money towards this show. Hey, we think we can be successful with this premise. Let's make a show about it. And we don't have to, but they don't have to worry about appeasing content. Like, they don't have to worry about appeasing advertisers. Like, they have their subscriber base, so people are paying for it. So they can watch it or not watch it, but they'll be able to see who's watching it. HBO was like that already. You had to have that extra subscription to HBO to watch their quality programming.
Do you really think Netflix makes a lot of money charging $8 a month?
They're up to like, it's up to like 10 now. And if you want the 4K subscription, it's 12.
No,
where you can access
10.
the 4K, before you have the 4K content.
But then on top of that, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if it's just like me and the people I know, but I'm pretty sure everyone shares their Netflix login stuff.
But Netflix doesn't care about that.
But that's what I'm saying. Man, you're charging, let's say 10, and it's getting split 4 ways. Like, you're charging $250 a person?
Yeah.
They can make more.
They could.
And with the success that they're having, again, to hit, like, my point is, if they have sustained success with these shows,
I think
they'll charge more.
Well, I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to keep making these deals. Like, they have the exclusive deal with Disney. They have I think what's going to happen, though, I think Netflix is going to get more and more where it's already happening. More and more shit you see on Netflix is just original shit that they've had, and less, like old movies or TV shows. I think it's going to be like Netflix is going to grow to become like an exclusive provider of like Netflix original series, kind of like HBO was for their shit. Like, you still get movies on HBO,
yeah,
but HBO, like, you have your TV shows. It's an original programming for HBO. So I think Netflix is going to get there one day. Like, you'll still have movies that you can watch on there, but it's going to be a greater focus on the original content. But I think slowly, cable networks have started to realize that, hey, these shows are successful because we're kind of like, we let them have more freedom in what they want to do. It's less restrictive.
Yeah. And it's less repetitive so far.
Yeah, so that's why you get shows like, now FX has American Horror Story, and FX has they're up there in terms of like how well regarded their shows are. They had Man versus Woman,
Man wins,
Man Seeking Woman, like that.
And
critically speaking, like, people liked the show. I don't know how ratings wise it did, but it was a very successful show, like, critically speaking.
Yeah.
They have what I think it's The Americans is a very, like, it's a highly regarded show.
That's animated, correct?
No. It's the show about the Russian spies, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They have The Strain, which has been pretty successful for them. They have American Horror Story, which has been a crazy good for them. They have Archer, which is fucking hilarious.
I'm currently rewatching that through.
Yeah, it's
well-written show.
Yeah, but FX is kind of like following that same like HBO, Netflix type mold.
I wish you could do an H. John Benjamin impression.
I do too.
Seriously, he has the best voice.
Lana. Lana.
Second one was Deese.
I have to. I should. I haven't watched Archer in a while.
Without
so
yelling, Lana. Like, if you could say like "pass the butter" as if like we were just dining with Archer, I would just shit my pants.
Yeah, I haven't watched Archer in a little while, so I haven't been practicing my Archer impression
yet.
My impressions are very much structured around what shows I've been watching a lot.
Yeah, because typically when you do an impression, I think my favorite thing about it is you know the line too. Yeah. You're not just sounding like this person saying that thing you wanted to say. Right. But you're reenacting the program.
Right. Yeah. I'm like a live action.
Role play?
I'm like a voice actor.
LARP?
A LARPist. A love rapist. But no.
Okay, so season 2 of Making a Murder is John Benet Ramsey.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, is season 3 going to be OJ?
I fucking hope so. That'd be great.
I would shit my pants.
If that, like, finally having the amount of funding that
George Zimmerman.
Okay. Oh, yes. The Trayvon Martin story. What if I told you?
Oh my god.
Narrated by Morgan Freeman.
Done in the style of 30 for 30. 30 for 30 has the best advertising. What if I told you? And then they give you like one line from the story, and it just gets you hooked. I think I've watched every 30 for 30. They
do Making a Murder about Whitney Houston's bathtub.
Oh, or Usher's swimming pool.
Oh.
God, his son drowned in it.
Not his son, his
stepson.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't really care.
He just had to use the net to get him into the filter.
Yeah, and then they had him cremated just so you could watch him burn.
Good one. Is that a Usher reference?
It's the Usher song.
God damn it.
Song called Burn.
Oh, my God.
That's it. That was
the only Usher reference I could have said is, yeah. That's like 80% of his lyrics.
Yeah, but
he's a yeah man.
He was a little too caught up.
Is that another Usher reference?
Another song.
There's one of our podcast listeners is an Usher fan, and he's rolling right now.
Wait, do we actually have an Usher fan of the podcast?
I mean, statistically, I think 1 in like 6,000 people like Usher.
Statistically speaking.
Or was an Usher at a wedding.
You're probably right. I bet with how many people bought the album Confessions, there are bound to be millions of Usher fans.
I can't believe people still buy albums.
I don't know. But, you got it bad.
Jesus. So this whole thing started, I was talking about Lenny Bruce. Do you remember that? Like 9 hours ago? Okay.
3 hours later.
One of the problems with being alive now is that the envelope has been pushed so
Trump
far.
is president.
Good one.
Good one.
That's like my most, I say good one all the time now.
Yeah, good one.
But like, so Lenny Bruce, most comedians will point to him as being like the founding father pushing the envelope. I didn't find him that funny. I still don't. I appreciate what he did because everyone appreciates what he did. But the point is, since then...
He's kind of like me with the Beatles. Like, I don't like the Beatles, but I appreciate what they did.
I don't know anything that they did. I know Yellow Submarine because it was in the movie I Am Sam. Or no, that was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was in that movie.
Yeah. Isn't I Am Sam the movie where Sean Penn went full retard?
Yeah. He finally quit acting.
Thank God.
But anyways... Fuck, what was I talking about? So
you're talking about Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, if we were to point at comedians in the 90s that pushed the envelope.
Bill Hicks.
That's a good one, even though he kind of died pretty young too.
And he died in the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you still had Carlin and then
Carlin,
Robin Williams.
Yep. And I mean pushing the envelope in terms of
you had Jeff Foxworthy kind of pulling the envelope back.
Just either being more offensive or being more brash.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then now we have people like Louis C.K., Anthony Jeselnik, Jim Norton, who are just... Bill Burr, who are just hilarious, but they push the envelope.
Yeah.
And it's to the point now, people can openly make rape jokes or Louis C.K.
Thank
jokes
God.
Louis C.K. jokes about killing babies.
Thank God.
I mean, but all these things, and it's like now, if you wanted to push the envelope, where do you go?
You actually have to kill the babies.
Like, here's the body! Like, while you're on stage. And
it's a new form of prop comedy. Like, that's what Carrot Top's doing now.
Killing kids. Getting ready for his Vegas comeback. But like, I hate that fact that it takes... I mean, the only thing that can really push the envelope now, I feel like, is being too soon with an offensive joke.
Well, it's also like you have to be tactful about it. Like, it's not just like they can joke about whatever they want to joke about. They have to, like, you have to push that envelope, but it has to be legitimately funny.
Yeah, it's almost like I've always hated people that self-describe themselves as smartasses, and I'm like, you realize one of those two prerequisites is being smart, right? Yeah. Otherwise, you're just being an ass, and
right.
Like that's the separation. There has to be intelligence behind the joke. For instance, and maybe we talked about this.
Like
on
you can be episode. Like you can be sarcastic without being an asshole.
Or
a lot of people who say that just being sarcastic are just being an asshole.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe we've talked about this one before, but like. There was one time Anthony Jeselnik, the week that Trayvon Martin died, Dick Cheney also got a heart transplant, and Anthony tweeted, and he was like, most people don't know this, but Dick Cheney specifically requested the heart of Trayvon Martin.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Like, that's combining two very relevant things.
Two current events into one fucking
in a way that's
going to
offend a lot of people if they read it. And so that's... I think that's the only way to push the envelope now. Is being really quick with an offensive joke.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Like
the first person to tweet after... What's that guy that just died that's saying Careless Whisper? Something Michael.
Yeah, George Michael.
George Michael, the first person that tweeted, "Now he's never gonna dance again."
That was me.
But
I didn't tweet it. I did post it on my Facebook as soon as I heard about it.
I'm sure someone like at the hospital when he was pronounced dead was like, "Oh God, I got to tweet this out." Like they had it, and that's what that's the only way to push the envelope now.
It's like being the first.
And maybe it's because of the internet and social media. It's like, how many times do we do these hashtag games on Twitter? And if you scroll through it, you could find one of our entries before we even did it. Now, are we scrolling through and reading it? Yes. But we could not.
Yeah.
And we could have just had the same obvious funny thought. Like, especially the easy ones, like when it says change one letter and ruin a movie. I always do 3 men and a baby.
Yeah. It's a good one, though.
Man, I picture it, I touch myself to it, and but again, the point being...
You touch others? Like
the baby? I knew you were going to fucking say that.
Too soon.
Not soon enough. NSE.
Yeah.
Whenever people say TMI, I always say NEI, and I ask for more. Not enough information.
Just like the NSA. Good one.
Oh, goddamn. I was going to compliment you on that, but good one.
Good one. I don't know. I think that is one of my favorite things, like finding something tragic, because ultimately that's how I process my emotions. Like I don't get super, like I don't cry about shit. I just
yeah, but some things aren't tragic. George Michael.
I know, but that's like to some people, like like some people grew up with fucking Wham posters on their above their bed, and George Michael dying is like a huge like part of their childhood, and so him dying, like that's a big deal to them, and it's a personal tragedy. But like how, like that's my first instinct is to see if I can make a joke about it.
Yeah, but you said processing your emotions, and that's what.
But it's the same thing to me. Like any kind of negative, like my first reaction at any situation, especially negative situations, is to see if I can make a joke about it. Because if I can laugh about it.
So if it's negative to other people, but not necessarily yourself.
But still, like, even if it's a negative situation and I feel like shit about it, I try to make a joke about it to at least, add some levity to the situation.
I like that word, levity.
Me too. I don't even know if I used it right. It just sounded like it fit there. Like my dick.
Good one. We need to make our own soundboard of like
good
us.
One.
Yeah, I'll make one that just says good one.
And I'll just do one that says like my dick.
We are actually, I don't know what time point we're at anymore.
We're at like 56 minutes, I think. If you noticed about halfway through the episode, there was like a little glitch. That's because our audio and video cut out and we had to start over.
No, it's because we did the wrong thing and we accepted the update of the program we used.
Yeah, and we
did not read the terms and conditions.
And it stopped working in the middle of it.
Yeah, one term was intermittent inactivity.
Yeah, one of the change logs said that this update actually doesn't work. And we forgot to read it.
I don't update anything. I'm still on like Windows 95. JK.
At least you're not on Vista.
You didn't like Vista?
No, Vista sucked.
Man, I wanted to get Visted anally.
Then you should have downloaded Vista.
Oh, God damn. I thought you were going to say good one, and so I said good one, hoping we say good one together.
Good one.
Like that. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, good one. The last 5 minutes of the show is just going to be us going, good one. Good one.
I seriously, I just want to be like fired one day from a job, and my boss is like, you didn't show up on time for like 3 weeks. I had to let you go. And I'll be like, good one. I was on a kick. I get in kicks of, do you remember for like 3 episodes of the podcast in a row, I would always, like, anytime we were talking about a place, I'd be like, yeah, somewhere weird, like Vermont. Yeah.
Good one.
God damn. And then for like 2 weeks, I was on this kick of, I was realizing everyone I knew.
2 weeks, so 1 episode.
Yeah, 1 episode or 2 weeks ago. I was on this kick of realizing anyone ever told me they had already said on Facebook. And so they were like, yeah, I personally deadlifted 295 pounds or something. I'm like, we know. And I was just, anytime someone was like, yeah, I spent the weekend at my parents' farm. We know.
You have to do the we know.
I don't want people seeing that much of my neck. And on top of that, it's going to be blocked by my microphone. We know. Now it looks like I have a giant pop filter.
We know.
Oh, God.
Good one.
Hold on. So let's go ahead. Okay, before we end the episode, and we'll end on a good note. If you know. Before we end the episode,
Wait. All right.
Again, please go to www.jakeandjoshpodcast.com. You can also check us out and check out our new show times. So we've moved on undiscoveredrockradio.com. Please follow us on Twitter and interact with us on there. I think that's the most fun I've been having on all of our social media.
Yeah, we've had a lot of interaction this past week.
Including the gay man that offered to hold our wieners while we pee.
Yeah, that was especially
which
enticing.
in some countries is a service.
I would pay for that service in the U.S. But you can also, so the Twitter and like Instagram and Facebook shit, you can all do from the website too, and email us.
Can I do one caveat there?
What?
Our Facebook link is broken and I can't figure it out.
Fuck.
But our Facebook is the least active of all our social media presences. The only thing we ever post on there is new episodes.
Yeah.
Because we don't get a lot of. You could
just go to the website for.
Yeah.
Or subscribe to us on Twitter. Or not Twitter.
iTunes. Yeah. I was just going to say like and review us on iTunes.
Rate and review us. And subscribe.
Yeah. Like us on Facebook. Tweet us on Twitter. Review us on iTunes.
Heart us on Instagram. And send us your dick pics on Snapchat.
You know, I've gotten 3 dick pics sent to me since I put a bumper sticker on my car that says, "How's my driving?" and I put my phone number.
Yeah, they're all from me.
I didn't know you were naturally a blonde. There was one. It was like bright yellow pubes. Like, it's the pubes Hitler wanted.
What he would have wanted. He will have had wanted them.
Yes. That was the correct prepositional formatting of that.
Tenses are hard.
That's what she's... Nah, no.
Good one.
Okay, so that's all I got. Until next time.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, too, so you can watch all our new videos now.
Yeah. And people do that. And it's cool.
Yeah, so do that, and then,
be cool.
Watch us.
All right, that's all I have. So for now,
good one.
one.
Love you.